Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a glorious day in England. The weather here at the moment is fantastic and today is Project Car Part 2. I've just caught a train to head to Prototrim to take a first look and check out the completely finished interior. Then we're going to hop into the car, drive over to Dub Customs where the new carbon fibre exterior parts from Ventus Veloce are awaiting. Now this is all part of the major project, the transformation to my Mark III Ford Focus RS Red Edition. While waiting for the engine to be run in before doing the modifications to that side, we've started off with the interior and the visual elements. So part 1 was coming here to Prototrim to tackle 2 of the flaws with the regular standard Mark III Focus RS. So one being the quality of the interior, and that's when we took a look at their demonstrator and checked out what they had done with the use of Alcantara, more leather, contrast stitching and the like, and put together a plan for what we're doing with mine. They have also, in the process, while the seats were removed, fitted the JCR Development lower seat frames, which just lower the front seats a touch to have a better position. So I'm pretty excited to go have a look at this. I've not seen it yet. Let's head to Prototrim and check out the new look of the inside to my Focus RS. Here we are then, back at Prototrim, where we're rejoined by the Focus RS that now has its completely new look interior. So this is where Prototrim do their bespoke interior projects, the custom one-off, complete refits, retrims of the inside of the cars, as has been done to this, that we will see in a second. So the Red Edition Focus RS is already a pretty special car, one of just 300 in the UK painted in the race red, which is glistening in today's sunshine. There are also the 500 blue editions that came first and 50 heritage editions, one of which I will be picking up shortly to retain in my garage. But all of those cars over the top of the standard car have a Quaife limited slip diff for the front, but they also have a few interior upgrades and subtle modifications, so some carbon fibre trim, and they also have some black parts on the exterior as well, but we'll be replacing some of those and adding some more later on with the Ventus Veloce parts. For now though, should we check this out? Should we take a look at the brand new finish of my Focus RS? So actually the very first mod I technically did was to change the key with a race red cover from Paint Mods, which is a small thing, but it matches with the car, and obviously I'll have an orange one in Teeth Orange for the Heritage Edition, and I had a blue one back when I had my Nitrous Blue RS. Let's just unlock it though, because the big changes are what's on the inside, and you can see a little bit through the window. Here we go. How awesome is that? The red and black Alcantara mixed with some black leather to completely overhaul the style of the original Focus RS. It took an interior that was quite plasticky and cheap looking into something that I would say is still quite OEM in its style, but so much classier. Even the rear has been done as well. Just have a look back here. The backs of the front seats, but literally the entire thing changed. So let me walk you through this. Let's start right around the front. I think the most substantial things are probably the seats themselves that have been totally refitted. You can see the pleating that they have up the centre in the black Alcantara, red Alcantara around the outside, the red stitch to match with that, the embroidery of the RS logo and the headrest. Even this line here has been manufactured just to make a little bit more style. You can see these have been covered, the plastic parts that you have in the headrests up to the top there, but those are the Recaro shell seats that come in the car. If we come towards the dashboard, the steering wheel is going to be changed in due course, hence why we've left it with blue stitching, but they have changed a number of the other parts. This here though, the dashboard top cover, is a very nice piece. So this is a complicated part to manufacture. It first has to be scanned, which the team at Prototrim do, to get a CAD image of what the dashboard looks like. Then a company called Central Scanning that works with Prototrim create the base out of hard plastic that will mold and sit perfectly on top of there, because you can't impact with the airbags and that side of things. Then Prototrim will build up their foam, their layers, to give it this leather and Alcantara look with the stitching, which actually matches up with the part that you have in the centre at the rear. So trying to keep the same effects throughout the car, the same styling, the same materials, the same lines, the same shapes. Then if we come to the doors, we've got the top roll in black leather with the red stitch, the red double stitch down it. The door cards with the red Alcantara with the black stitch, the carbon fibre that comes with the edition versions of the Focus RS. Continuing through to the middle, these are some of my favourite touches. The gear shift gaiter has been done with red stitching to match. Same with the handbrake gaiter around there, so we've got carbon fibre again. Even the armrest in black Alcantara with the red stitching. These might seem like small things, but it took a lot of planning and thinking about. The red Alcantara matching really well with the exterior of the car too. And if we come through to the rear, the seat backs, this was an idea they came up with. I have to say, that looks brilliant. It's a really, really nice thing. And a few of you commented when we saw the blue car that it was quite overkill. I think in red, it's a bit more subtle, a little bit tidier. It just works altogether really quite well. But we've got the same pleating on the rear seats, even horizontally here, the red Alcantara for the headrests, Recaro badge in the center. This looks so awesome. It's really, really nice. And that's a Focus RS. The Focus RS should not look this good on the inside. It's a Focus. It starts with the base model, and they don't really change that much for the RS other than a few trim parts and obviously technology options. The other thing that's been fitted are the JCR seat frames, but I'll experience more of those as we jump on the road to head on out. But how cool is this? A massive thanks to Prototrim. This thing is epic. Alrighty then, here we are. The new Focus RS interior. So let's get the engine running. I need some air conditioning on. It is boiling. It must be about 30 degrees now, but immediately I feel like I'm sat lower at the right kind of height, where you should be in this car. It was the big thing that every journalist who drove the Mark III RS said, that because they had put the seats straight in where the ST seats were, and because of the fitment of the shell buckets from Recaro, it just meant that they were a touch too high. Now, I didn't want to go too low because I'm not the tallest person in the world, and I didn't want to find myself having to kind of stretch up to look over the front bonnet, but this feels right, and I'm going to experience more of that on the drive. Now, this car still only has 630 odd miles on the clock, so it is basically new. Before we get to the engine, we need to have a few more miles on it, just get it completely run in, so I have to drive it quite gently. But about 2 hours from here now towards Dub Customs, where we can see these exterior parts, and naturally I'm quite excited to see what those are going to look like. But let's just drive gently. It's actually a really strange sensation when you're so used to the Focus RS, because obviously the blue car had the same shell seat, but it's that touch lower. It's a strange one. This feels right though, where you should be. I thoroughly recommend those. If you have a Focus RS and you're thinking about it, get the JCR development seat frames. But out we go towards the road. Next stop, Dub Customs. And I have found myself following a Gallardo Superleggera. I've actually seen this one a few times before at various different events in the past. Does look cool. It's got an aftermarket wing on the back. Probably a little bit quicker than I am in my running in Focus RS, but hey, livens up the journey a touch. It's an original gen Superleggera. You do not see many of those about at all. Many more of the LP570, like the facelifted Gallardo. In fact, you don't actually see that many Gallardos or LP560s anywhere. But that was the Superleggera that then spawned now the Performante that we have of the Hurricane. Ah, Milton Keynes, the land of the roundabouts. Anyway, on we go. We can use a few revs, about 4,000 or so, while it's still being run in. It will get there. It needs about 1,000 miles of gentle driving, and then this car is ready to have its legs properly stretched. Driving in the UK is one of the most stressful things you can do, because just about every journey you go on of any sizable distance has a guaranteed traffic jam. I've probably lost about half an hour already, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. I think the nice weather has everybody off in a kind of la-di-da mood and off traveling somewhere. But it does give me a good amount of time to have just to look around the car and take it all in and just consider more about what's actually been done to this. And I'm really looking forward to the new steering wheel that's coming. So that will be possibly in one of the later parts that's to come of this series, the project series. I think it's almost becoming that, with different parts of all of the modifications and changes. And I'm always interested to hear what you guys think I should do with this car. If there are any specific modifications you're thinking of course, I'm going to do things like the exhaust system, wheels, we'll change the suspension setup, I'm sure. Obviously there are engine modifications to come when it's been more run in. We're up towards 700 or so miles now, but plenty more are needed before we do that. I think one thing I might do in the very near future is to change the wheels. I talked about making them gold, in the same color gold as the Ford GT spec, and I'm really seriously considering doing that now. So maybe I'll head over to Posh Wash to do that in the coming days. But the seats themselves look absolutely fantastic. I think the red Alcantara that's behind me really, really looks very, very smart. It just goes with the entire package of this car. It's bringing some of the exterior color into the inside in a very OEM style, in a very organized, neat fashion, which is exactly the kind of image we wanted to go for. I'm sure some people will still say maybe it's too much, but I think it's the perfect balance of an amount of red without being overkill.
Stop, shoulder ahead.
Yep, that's just a small part of the traffic. A moment ago it told me this bit of traffic jam is going to be 20 more minutes. Woohoo! Anyway, hopefully I'll get to Dub before the guys actually leave for the day, because it is now running quite close to the end of the evening, and we'll be able to take a look at these Ventus Veloci carbon parts. Finally, I am arriving at Dub Customs. This has been a much longer journey than I had planned, and what I'm just realizing is that RS18 Blue is here. That's Prototrim's other blue car. So the two Focus RSs are back again side by side. I gather they're doing some small things to it. But let's pull straight up and go and have a look around inside. You have got to come and take a look at the parts that we've just been opening up, the full carbon aerodynamic package from Ventus Veloce. And as we've been going through each box, unboxing, unpacking and checking out the carbon fiber components, I have basically been like a kid at Christmas. I'm a carbon fiber fiend, as I think you know from my videos, a big fan of the stuff, and this is the ultimate. So let's check it out and take a look at what we've got here from Ventus Veloce, the full aerodynamic package in glossy carbon fiber to install on my Focus RS here with the guys at Dub Customs. The package is aggressive. We've got lots of parts here, the full carbon front bonnet, we've got the double layer rear wing still wrapped up, that's the diffuser, those are the side skirts, this is the front grille piece behind the number plate, the fog lamp surrounds, we've got the canards for each side, and wrapped up here we've got the splitter and the lower lip splitter as well that goes beneath that. But this is the entire package that is going to transform this car. If you just take a look at the different parts, they're very aggressive in the way they're designed. The louvres on the front bonnet, the knacker ducts that it has as well, the sharpness of the canards, the double layer that I mentioned that the rear wing has with the struts that are more aggressive as well. The design is awesome, it's sporty, but also the parts are incredibly light. I've just been lifting up various parts. For example, this is the front grille. Literally it weighs next to nothing. It's got the towing eye insert there at the front. Even the spoiler you can literally lift up with one finger. So all of the plastic parts that are on the Focus RS are going to be removed. You know, this is the grille. The RS badge goes into the insert that it has right there that you can see. The fog lamp surrounds are this part. These are, you know, pretty cheap plastic, to be honest. We're going to be getting rid of those. This is the main splitter at the front, and then there's going to be another splitter that sits beneath that. This of course all adds aero to the car as well. When you look at the rear wing, which has the RS engraving there at the rear, the side of the spoiler, but by having multiple levels to it, helps more with airflow as well over the back of the car. This is all going to shape up and add to what we've already done at Prototrim in a very nice way to make this a proper project car. And then it will also get a new number plate, not a change in terms of the registration, but it will get my more traditional ones that wear a quote at the bottom of them to go on that with the car as well. I am very excited to fit this to this car in due course. So that will be part 3. You'll see the overhaul when that is all done, and it's going to complement what we've already done in here in a very nice way. I cannot thank Prototrim enough for how well this has been made, just so you can see it in a different light with the setting sun now as well. The red is almost perfect with the Alcantara here. It all fits so nicely and it looks so smart. Honestly, it looks OEM. That's the biggest thing for me. That's what I was hoping for. Yes, we could have done it all in entirely red Alcantara. You know, you could have made the center of the seats red as well. You could have made the whole of this red, but then that would just turn out to be a bit overkill, whereas this is the balance of making it a one-off, making it personal without going too far and turning it into something crazy. So like I mentioned, a new steering wheel is coming, a few other bits and pieces are coming, watch this space. Wheels and calipers might be done, because these calipers, these are unpainted, literally Brembo brakes, but they come from factory with no paint at all, and they look a bit, well, naff to be honest. They need to be painted. They might go race red, maybe they'll go black. I'll have a think about what that's going to be, but this package, well, it's epic. Look at this. Just look at these designs around the side of the bonnet. This is super cool. Next time, we're going to be seeing this going onto the car, and I'm going to try and do a fair bit of that myself. I'm obviously going to need some help from Dub Customs, but I'll give it a go, see what I can do, and see how it turns out. So yes, part 2 of the project car is now complete. The interior is transformed. Bring on the exterior. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll catch up with you again next time. Cheers.